Hey everyone, Valencianistas here, and today I want to talk about something in Lightbringer League that I think a lot of players underestimate. Once we get assigned into our groups and start fighting players who are theoretically supposed to be around our level, the reality is that matches can become extremely close. At that point, it's not always raw power that decides the outcome. Very often, tiny adjustments can completely change the direction of a match. That's exactly why I play this event actively, and honestly, I encourage all of you to do the same. Don't treat Lightbringer League like a set it and forget it event. Pay attention, react, adapt. Because before each new battle starts, after finishing a match and seeing your upcoming opponent, you actually have an opportunity to edit your lineup and adjust your marches. And that matters much more than some players realize. You can modify your first, second and third march depending on what kind of setup your opponent is using. Maybe your strongest march should not automatically stay in slot number 1. Maybe your second march has a better matchup. Maybe changing hero combination or behemoth placement gives you a stronger chance to secure crucial kills. The point is simple. If you have information available, use it. Spend those few extra minutes analyzing your opponent. Because in balanced matchmaking, those small decisions can become the difference between winning and losing. And there is another reason why this is important. The final ranking in Lightbringer League qualification is not based purely on victories, it's based on kill points. And that changes everything. Sometimes you can win a matchup but still lose valuable ranking position because you didn't optimize your marches. And sometimes you can miss an important reward threshold or placement simply because you didn't bother adapting your setup. Those missing points hurt. Especially when you realize afterward that a simple march adjustment could have made the difference. Now, in my current example, the match is already in progress, so I can't edit my lineup anymore. But if you take a look at the battle history, you can clearly see my approach evolving. In the first, second and third matches, I played with my standard setup. Pretty straightforward. My first march was my strongest, my second march was solid but weaker, and my third march was my weakest lineup. Nothing unusual. But for the fourth march, I deliberately changed the order. Why? Because I wanted to tailor my setup specifically to my opponent. It wasn't just blindly sending the same configuration again. I looked at the matchup and tried to create a better strategic alignment. Now, did it work? Absolutely not. Complete disaster. This opponent was simply outside my weight class. Honestly, it wasn't even close. His march without behemoths absolutely demolished my behemoth march so badly there was basically nothing left to discuss. But here's the important lesson. The fact that this specific attempt failed doesn't mean the strategy is wrong. Far from it. Because if the same adjustment has been used against a more evenly matched opponent, it could easily have been enough to tip the scales in my favor. This is exactly the point. Lightbringer League is often decided on margins, not giant power gaps, margins. And when players are relatively close in strength, intelligent adaptation becomes a weapon. So my advice is simple. Play actively. After every match, check your next opponent. Study their composition. Think about your march order. Think about counters. Think about where your strongest value actually is. Don't automatically assume your default setup is always the best option. Because in an event where kill points matter, where rankings matter, and where small differences can determine rewards, every extra advantage counts. Sometimes victory doesn't come from having a stronger account. Sometimes victory comes from making the smarter adjustment before the fight even begins. And that's something every player can improve.